and you were good to go on audio whenever.
Perfect. Cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4, season 3 of the May Contain Action podcast. I am one of your hosts, Paul, also known as Action Jackson, joined as always by my very handsome and tall host with very large hands, Trevor May.
Wow,
here.
thank you. When you said
Yeah.
that, I took my hands and I put them on my face so you can see how big they are. So
They're big.
they're
Big mitts.
I got big
Yeah.
mitts.
Surprisingly out of shape as well. But that's neither here nor there. And then always, as well, also joined by our producer, PM. PM, hello.
Hello.
Ooh, that was nice. Hello. PM, you still using a
Yeah,
shotgun mic,
quick.
by the way?
No,
he's-
I have the other one now.
What's the other one?
The
smaller Shure, right?
The Shure MV7. Yeah, the
baby Shure.
smaller one.
Oh, like the USB shirt?
The baby. Yeah, the USB
No
one.
shot. You sound pretty good.
So
I mean,
yeah,
Who would've
thank
thought?
you. I
Great
mean,
stuff,
I
dude.
am pretty good at audio.
They do.
So I can kind of make it work.
I'm gonna be honest. You can just get a lavalier
You're
mic
okay
at
at
this
it.
point, man. They're like the audio quality coming out in the world is crazy good.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
Didn't know
bad. Just please just don't get like a snowball Yeti. I'm just
Yeah, no,
begging
those
you.
are-
Wait, the new one? Like the Logitech one?
Just don't get them, man.
Just don't
Like,
get 'em.
They need
Okay.
a lot of work, right? You gotta
Yeah.
you have to dial those things in to get them to sound good.
Yeah, it's not it's not worth paying for it and then not being able to return it after 3 weeks because you realize it's not good. So just don't do it.
There's better options, same price point.
Don't do it.
I just ruined any chance of a Logitech Blue.
Sorry, guys.
sponsorship,
Oh,
so great.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine.
But they had their chance. They've had their chance for 7 years, and they haven't come through yet. So.
They're not interested. They love doing free product, though, for nothing at all. So, all right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to, like I said, to the episode. Glad you guys are here. Quick life updates.
Yay!
Yes, Halloween just happened. Just had Halloween. A lot of fun. I and the wife, we dressed up with Trevor, with our baby Trevor.
Same.
Yeah.
Ezra's Trevor.
With Ezra. Ezra was brown bear. I was yellow duck. And Tirza was black sheep from the book Brown Bear, What Do You See? So that was adorable because we're an adorable family.
It's about the cutest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was really, really cute.
Wow.
And Trevor, what did you go as?
What I go as? I was a pickle.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we went to a place called Mopop, which used to be the EMP Museum, which used to be like the Experience Music Project, which was the Jimi Hendrix
Yeah.
Museum. That big, really, anyone who's been to Seattle, the big looks like it's made of blown glass, just a big crazy building. It's like our pop culture museum now, and they do a Halloween party and the costume contest. We went with a bunch of friends. It was actually awesome because the exhibits they have right now were like fantasy, like the history of fantasy, like writing and stuff. So like Lord of the Rings,
Damn.
World of Warcraft, everything was up. I'm like, oh look, and I'm just naming all the swords like a massive nerd in a pickle costume, and
love
and then there was
Yeah.
like sci-fi, there was horror, and like it was and they had all the stats from all the movies and all the stories and where they were written and where they came from. It was really cool. But I wasn't
okay, it's
actually
really cool.
supposed to go to that. I was going to a rave, frankly. For the first time in a long time with a bunch of friends who also used to go to raves with me. So like we're like 10 years later, we're like, dude, should we go? And they're like, yeah. And then 2 days later, they're like, hey, every single one of us got COVID separately. So I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, we all have it. I'm like, okay, well then I'm not going by myself.
They just don't want to go. In reality. They just don't wanna go.
But it's cool. Thank God for capitalism and StubHub, because then I flipped those tickets for a lot more than I paid for them because
Nice.
there was literally no reason not to. I'm so sorry, market, for gouging you, but like, wow, that was really
Wow.
easy.
Congrats on the money.
Well, I should get sick before raves a lot more.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's my job now.
It's called
I'm a
scalping,
scalper.
actually.
I'm a scalper now.
That's called
Just want
scalping.
everyone to know
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. I just had cheese and candy pairings. That was my next to a fire. So I mean, mine was way more low key. I didn't go to a rave.
So I didn't go to the rave. Obviously, everyone got COVID. So
I
so
know,
went
but
to
you
the
were
other-
planning on going to a
Actually,
rave.
the point of that whole story was that's why I went to Spirit Halloween and just got a pickle, because I've been a pickle before too. By the way, like there's a bunch of photos of me as a pickle.
Yeah, it looked familiar.
So I was there. I was like, oh, I got a pickle. That's happening again. And Kate was like, are you fucking kidding? And I was like, I wasn't getting dressed up. I didn't have a costume at all. I was just gonna go be a sweaty, raving mid-30-year-old guy, and now I'm now I have to wear something. So they're like, you're a pickle, but this is like undead. It's called like the undead extravaganza or something. I was like, no, I used to be a cucumber, but then they drowned me in vinegar. I don't even have a kid, and that came out of my mouth.
They drowned me in vinegar.
You.
Sorry. That was funnier than it should be. Okay. Great. That was a hell of a story.
Yeah.
I did not know it was that complex.
Yeah.
There was a lot that happened there. Peter, how was your Halloween, bud?
It was good. We were in Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was a really fun time. It was my mom's 60th birthday, and I went as Fat Thor.
Yes.
So that was fantastic. Awesome. A lot of I actually took photos with a couple people because they were like, "This is incredible."
Ooh.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I lost a lot of money. I'm just kidding. I didn't lose a lot of money. I didn't do too well on the tables. I will say that. Though,
gets a job, immediately gambles.
Yeah, I know, right?
Finally,
the tables were not kind to me. I will say. So we stayed at the Wynn because my mom loves the Wynn.
Wynn's great.
When the hell did they decide that the minimums were $50?
For tables?
In the Wynn?
Yes.
When you go on Halloween, man.
At the Wynn.
When you go on Halloween.
No, just like apparently that's what it's been the last
There's no
year.
shot. It's been 50 minimum at the Wynn.
Yeah. Like
I'm not a seasoned gambler.
Like we would be up at 8.
That sounds insane.
Yeah, like we would be up at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. to like walk around and get food, and we would look at the table, and the minimum would be 30 or like 25. And then at night, it would transition to 50 or 100. And we were just
I know that some transition to 50 or 100 at night, but like minimums gets down to 10 usually. 20 at the max.
Usually they're like 5 or 10. Oh, that sounds nice. What is
it's
it?
A polar seltzer, strawberry watermelon.
Nice.
No big deal.
What flavor?
We like polar here, polar.
I do see what you mean by it was such a pain to get around though because of the scaffolding with the F1 race. Yeah, like
bad.
The taxis that we took, they took so many different ways to get around because the traffic was so bad. But it was it was fun. I definitely loved it.
Nice. Love the Win.
Can't complain too much. And then last night we just watched Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
And we left a bowl of candy out for all the kids, and it was gone in like an hour and a half. And then we were like, "Cool, sounds good." And that was the end of it.
Oh, you didn't physically go to the door yourself and comment on all the costumes?
No, because the dogs would have freaked out.
Oh, all right, that's fair.
We didn't want the dogs to bark a bunch and us to have to like kind of open the door then close it immediately to see costumes. But I will say, okay, real quick, I was on the treadmill at like 4 or 3:30, okay, and I usually do work while walking. I know, right? And I usually do it in my garage with the garage door open because I want the air. And like 16, 17, or 18-year-olds show up to like the door. And like I'm looking at them and they have like bags of candy and costumes. And these are like full grown adults. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, we don't have candy yet. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, it's 3:30. Like,
come straight after school.
Can you come back in like 4 hours or like maybe come back as a child? Like you don't need to be doing
come
this.
Come back as a child.
And so they like walked away as like kind of confused. And I was just like, why are you 18 doing this? Like, do you just want free food?
Maybe
is that what this
16.
is? Like you're a college kid and you're
they
like
old
free food?
then.
But
they must,
yeah, no, they did. They were like as tall as me, and they were like, yeah, like we want some candy, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Sorry, Baby Ruth.
So I don't know. PSA: after the age of like 11, stop doing it.
I mean, at the age of 11,
I get it.
I don't know, man. I feel like the 12, 13, 14-year-olds. I mean, they're still into it.
They are. Paul, so remember our walk? I mean, I know it was long, and maybe you blacked out halfway through, but. That neighborhood we walked through, the first, like the really nice one that was all like it feel like a gated community, but there's no gate. So they do we didn't know this. So Kate and I went out to dinner last night because I was like, let's go out to dinner because there won't be it'll be fun to see adults in their costumes right before they're about to go to parties, which was awesome, by the way. The restaurant was packed with people and random stuff. So we went out to dinner, but we were driving and we drove by the front of that place, and they literally have like Like they close the streets off. They have trucks blocking the thing, and they do like they have like a concession stand at the beginning with water and things, and every single house like participates. So like they have people sitting out in front, where like almost like lemonade stands handing out the can. Like everyone's outside, which is and like some people have music playing, and some people have like a movie playing up on the side of their house. Like I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Oh man, that's so cool.
But like we don't get as many trick-or-treaters because the middle school's on the other side of that. So everyone comes down, it gets there and kind of stops. So like that, but that's where like everyone on the island is. Like everyone's there. I was like, dude, there's so many kids in there. That's crazy. But now we gave out full-size candy bars, so I think the word's gonna get out. Like the 15 kids that came, they're coming to our house every year for the rest of their lives.
Look, man, I respect that you did that. Okay, that's great. I got some bad news for you. I think a lot of people are doing it. I had full-size candy bars. Dude. And like and then I asked, like, because our friends' kids went out and then they came back, and I was like, were there any other full-size candy bar houses? And they're like, yeah, there was a few. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, when we were kids, there was one in the whole town.
Oh yeah, in the city.
And you had to get there early.
Like, yeah. You had to get there early, exactly.
We were going there at 3:30.
Nowadays with Amazon, I feel like anyone can just order big size candy bars ahead of time. Like it was one of those things that like I feel like if you wanted the big size candy bars, you had to go to Walmart like a month early to get them. Yeah. And nowadays it's just like you just order them and they show up. So I feel like everyone has them.
And Costco.
But I will say it was kind of sad to see how many like people were out at Walmart yesterday, like trying to find whatever bag they could because they waited till the last minute, like me. So I thought it was very.
Oh God, this is so sad. As you're putting it in your cart, you guys are losers.
Yeah, thankfully I grabbed the last like 5 bags that didn't have like the worst selection. Like it was Reese's, Kit Kat, Hershey's, and then I think like Almond Joy was the one one. But like the other ones at least were like, the other ones were like Tootsie Rolls and candy corn, and like you can kind of see them look at it and they're like, oh, and then they just like put it back.
Oh, ew. Thank you. Yeah, grab a handful of Milk Duds. Those are my favorite.
Actually, Milk Duds are...
Dude, Milk Duds are gross. Stop it.
And okay. What? Not Milk Duds. Whoppers are pretty good. I like
Whoppers are great. I'll take a Whopper.
Milk balls. Milk balls are good. Well, yeah, you're right. Milk Duds are trash. What are we talking about here?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great Halloween. This is great. Everyone had a great Halloween.
We did.
I kind of wish you went to a rave because I wanted to hear what it's like to go to a rave at 33. But
probably exhausting.
I imagine my back hurts just thinking about that. But that sounds great.
Fun though. It would have been so fun.
But we do have. I don't know why. That was me slamming my mouse on my desk. A movie.
We got a movie.
We got a movie.
Would like
do we name this yet?
Would you like? Well, I mean, it'll be in the title. Don't know, but you mind if I like present it? I feel like whoever has the movie.
Yeah, like, by all means.
And this week we have
dude, present the shit out of that.
So this one's interesting. This one's really exciting. But you know, for the youngins, for anyone younger than, I mean, this movie's older than us. So there's a chance. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it. So Paul never seen this until recently, guys. Which
that's true. I've never seen it before.
I'm so excited to hear because I was watching it because I watched it last night. I was like, dude, this is legitimately like the start of like some pretty big careers and just objectively entertaining. Like there were so many little quips and like things that were just good writing that I was like, oh my God, this movie's actually good. Like it's not a stupid. I mean, it's stupid, but it's not stupid. Anyway, the movie is The Goonies. All right. The 1985, I have it here. The Goonies is a 1985 American adventure comedy film that centers around a group of kids living in the Goondocks. Goondocks is like the top of the hill in Astoria, Washington. PM and I were very excited about this movie, sidebar, because we are from the Northwest.
Did you just say Astoria, Washington?
It's
Oregon.
Astoria. Astoria, Oregon. My bad. Sorry. Hoquiam's also in Oregon. What's the other one in the Washington side? Whatever. Astoria's right over the border though. It's not very
PM's
far.
very upset.
Yeah.
Astoria is in Oregon.
Like no, it's literally. But it's you can kind of share.
Yeah, it's very close to the mouth of the Columbia River. So like on the other side of the mouth is Washington, where we would drive over on the Washington side, which is windy as shit. Never do that, please. And the Oregon side's way smoother. So go on Oregon and go along the river that way to get there. If you're coming from my hometown, evidently, I don't know why I'm explaining it this way.
I'm sorry, we're doing a MapQuest segment.
Sorry.
Of the
anyway,
show? What is
anyway,
happening?
I live I'm like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Astoria, and PM is kind of around that too. Like we're both about the same distance from it. So, and it's filmed there, and it takes place there too. So it was actually filmed in the town that it was supposed to be in as well, which is cool. But so we have that affinity. It's very northwest. It's like windy the whole time. Everyone's hair is flying in the air. Anyway, so they grew up in the Goondocks in Astoria, Oregon. When their homes are threatened with foreclosure, they discover an old pirate map and embark on an adventure to unearth the long-lost fortune of One-Eyed Willie, the legendary 17th century pirate, in hopes of saving their homes. They're trying to look for treasure so their parents can pay their homes off to the bank that is the evil bank that is trying to build a golf course at the top of a hill, which makes no sense. But it is a great villain story. And you might recognize some of these names. One of the executive producers, Steven Spielberg. Very Steven Spielberg. I don't know if you guys noticed that. But it has those vibes, actually. Doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
The music's great. Cyndi Lauper, who Girls Just Want to Have Fun, she wrote a song for this movie, and is the intro.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That movie, song was written for it, and that music video that's playing is also fake and made for the movie.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But it's got Sean Astin. You guys know who Sean Astin is. If you don't, I do not know what to tell you. He's Mikey, main character. Josh Brolin is the older brother Brand. Jeff Cohen is Chunk, which you don't know that name. I don't blame you. Corey Feldman is in it. He's Mouth. He's basically the same character he plays in every movie he's in forever. Cary Green's in it. Martha Plimpton, Steph and Andy, and Jonathan Key Kwan as Data. And if you don't know who that is, we're going to get into that as well. So like a lot of Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, like. They did stuff after this.
So you're saying it's Samwise and Thanos?
It's Samwise and Thanos for those of you who are Thamos. And Jeff Cohen plays Chunk and Chunk only.
Yeah, I was basically. I think everyone here had like great careers, and I'm like Chunk. I'm like I don't remember him.
Well, wait till you hear what he's doing now, which is an awesome story as well.
OnlyFans?
Close. He's a lawyer. Okay. He is a lawyer. So it was rated 7.8 on IMDb, 76% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes with a 91 audience score. What?
Just imagining doing the truffle shuffle on OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just like
he also hates that. Wait till there's all these cool anecdotes about him as well. But it's a cult classic. Didn't win any major awards, however, was nominated for several, including 2 Saturn Awards. And there's one actor in this movie who didn't win an award for anything they acted as someone who could speak. The only award they ever won was Corey Feldman. They were 3 years old and they won an award for a McDonald's commercial. There's a little tidbit for you. They won the Child Actor of the Year for commercials or something. I don't know what those are called. Cleo's. Okay. It's called something like that. And he won it when he was 3, and it was like this critically acclaimed commercial for McDonald's, which is hilarious. That's how we got to start, which is awesome.
Amazing. Okay.
But 1985. So if anyone was born after that, which is pretty much every single person probably listening to this, because that was 40 years ago almost.
Long time.
But 124 million worldwide, which is really good. It doesn't say the budget here, but it was less than that. So though it did have a pretty sizable budget. It was one of these adventure movies where they do big sets, but $124 million for this movie is pretty interesting. That's the Goonies, and Paul had never seen it.
Damn, never seen it before in my life.
So
I heard a lot about it.
I think you should probably drive then, like your reactions for these first categories then.
Sure,
because I really want to. Yeah, I need to know. I need to know what you thought.
All right, so I'm just going to keep it to the categories because I feel like I could go off. Keep it to the categories. Our first category is the Vivian Ward rating for the opening scene. Again, Vivian Ward being the main character from Pretty Woman and being one of the best opening scenes.
Just slaying.
Yeah, just killing it. So on a scale of 1 to Vivian, I'm going to give this opening sequence like a 5.
Oh, what?
A 5. Yeah, I didn't love it.
Come on.
I didn't love it. I know. I didn't love it. I mean, it was like... I mean, I might give it like a 5.5, 6 because I did like the kind of like it felt very Iron Man with like the pounding of the metal or whatever in the beginning. Like, what is that? Like, is that like what am I gonna like? Where are we gonna end up? And it was like, oh, it's a jail and like the all that. But just like the scene itself was a little bit like, come on,
goofy.
It was a little bit goofy. I was like when he holds himself up like he's been hung. Yeah. First of all, I was like, whoa, they're really gonna show like a dead body in the first 5 seconds of this movie. And then I'm like, why is his tongue? Why does it look like that? Like he looks very alive. And then like the cops being like, oh no, fire on the ground. What are we gonna do?
We can't get around it.
Oh man. So it's fine. It was fine. It was fine. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it to that.
Yeah. Well, I hit it with a.
I'm sorry,
Vivian. And the reason I hit it with a Vivian. So
Vivian.
I hit it with a full Vivian because the absolute the entire so the Fratellis, who are the villains in this movie, escape from the local jail what are they doing in a store? We don't know. Like, why are you here? What are you doing? And why
local jail?
Why are you guys doing what you're doing? No one knows. No one. It doesn't really matter. But they get in this crazy car chase through Astoria, which is not a big town, guys. And they're having literally a shootout with cops, and they're driving by everyone. So we meet all the characters because it goes by everyone's house.
That's true. Yeah.
I want you to like emphasize how not big of a
it's a very very small town. Less than 10,000 people live here. Like not big, very very small.
Dang.
Like not many stoplights, not many chain anything. So, but it's a really cool. It's a destination town. It's like a vacation town, close to the beach. And it's got that beach line, that coastline that you see all the time. That's there. That is really there. It's super cool, and that's why people go there. Like you see it immediately. It's really cool. And so anyway, it's not a small town. There's this crazy car chase, and there's they're shooting at each other. And it drives by Chunk's house, which is one of the main characters. He's like, and he embellishes stories all the time, but he sees a shootout and he's like, "There's a shootout!" and tries to tell his friends, and they're like, "We don't, no, there wasn't." But like one of my favorite parts was when Mouth, his dad's fixing the sink, and like he's got a car chase going on the TV, and then he's like, "Can you turn that off? I can't hear if the water's running." He's like, "Oh," and he turns it off, and then you still hear the sirens, and he's like hitting the TV like, what the but it's like there's a car chase going on. Like they did a bunch of little things like that
that was clever.
Which it was clever. So everyone got introduced. So I'm talking about from the forum. Everyone got introduced, and we saw the Fratellis, and then it was also a car chase. So it's like it's got everything I like.
That's true.
It's so 80s.
I was focusing on the cheese, but you were focusing on the actual.
But it's super cheesy. It's also made in 1985. So it's like But that is also the tone of the movie. There's some serious parts that they did a really good job of making it not feel super serious, which was important because it's technically a kids movie, except for these kids are saying shit left, right, and center right from the beginning.
Dude. Oh yeah.
PG-13. Love it.
Oh yeah.
So I gave it a Vivian, but that's
full Vivian.
This is up there for me though. This is one of the better. This is one of the big ones from my childhood. I chose this, so I love it so much.
Fair enough.
Maybe Vivian's a little strong. Maybe just below Vivian, but yes.
Hey, no, you already said Vivian, dude. This is your gold standard. Come on. All right, I'm curious to know what PM's going to say about it because he lives close there. He's like, my grandmother was born in Astoria.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the intro. I gave it a full Vivian too if I were to do this segment because I think it's the perfect intro to this movie. I think it sets it up great. I do love the fact that like. So we actually go to Astoria every single year,
of course,
to just kind of stay there, and we actually stay down the street from the Goonies house. So rewatching it again recently, and then like seeing the house that we stayed in is still the exact same as it was way back then. It was kind of funny. If you haven't been to Astoria yet, every single house is like, kind of like a straight up vertical column, like they're so tall and narrow. So it's like really unique. But no, I thought it was a great intro. I thought it was the perfect 90s like type of intro, and I do love the fact that Trevor hit on the car chase scene, because if you've been to Astoria and you watch the car chase scene, you're like, oh, they've only gone down like 2 streets. but they make it seem like this is like the city center of LA, but like in reality it's like there's the main street, there's a back road, and then they're off.
Wow. And then there's like it's just sporadic houses, like there's nothing.
Okay.
Which is
all right. So I feel like a lot of it seems like a lot of nostalgia and personal experience is kind of feeding into this this Vivian rating for both of you.
Yeah, we've been there, we've seen it, and it just encapsulates the Northwest really well. So I guess I guess you're not going to give it the same type thing.
It's fine. Hey, I appreciate small town. I love that. That's great. I've had a couple shot in ours. I get it.
Try doing that in a small. Sorry guys, I'm not going to do that.
Oh my.
Moving on.
Moving on. Yes. Okay. So our next category, the Ents Attack Isengard Award for best scene or scenes. You know, this was tough for me. Yeah, there were so many good ones. So many. I'm gonna say I kind of liked whenever I'm gonna call him Obi because I immediately forget his name. Data. I liked whenever Data was on screen. To be honest, I just enjoyed his character. I thought he was like really fun. So like almost any scene with him in it where he's actually like involved doing something. Because at first, like when they first started the movie and he was like not really that featured, I'm like, he's gonna have like 10 lines. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna have like nothing. But he actually did have quite a few, and he was a pretty important part of the group. So pretty much any scene he was in, I thought it was like Omega Cheese when he was like, they were at the bone piano, which she knew how to play somehow.
What a great scene.
But the bone piano was my favorite scene. And then the Data is like going back down the cave way, hallway, I don't know whatever you want to call it, for some reason. And it's like, guys, they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah, just
like
keeping them updated. They're coming, and they're just climbing so slow. They're coming. They look pissed. They're coming. And then like he pulls his jacket and a freaking punt, like a glove pops out and punches him. And I was like, this is just Omega level cheese. Oh God,
it's amazing.
His Inspector Gadget set up one of the best things.
Yes, that's why I was like, oh, what's he gonna? Because I haven't seen it before, so I'm like, all right, like what's he gonna pop out of his jacket next? So yeah, pretty much any scene with Data in it, I liked a lot. Even the cheesy ones.
Hey, fun little. Okay, I got a fun anecdote for Data. He named all the stuff, like the actor Key, Jonathan Key.
Oh, really?
So like Pincher's Apparel, Slick Shoes.
Slick Shoes.
He's like Slick Shoes. And they're like Slick Shoes. And he's like, yeah, that's all I can come up with. I love it. I love it so much, though. Like, they're like, hey, what do you got? And he was just like, on the day of, he's like, Pincher's Apparel. They're like, hell yeah, that's awesome, because he had just done Indiana Jones. And Pincher's Apparel is the most Indiana Jones shit I've ever heard. So
Pincher's Apparel.
For those of you that don't know, the guy who plays Data is also Short Round. I think I mentioned that earlier in Indiana Jones. So,
oh my gosh,
he's the helper. Well, basically, he's Data.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was another thing he was in. Okay, well, my favorite award,
favorite scene,
and my favorite scene, the Ents Attack Isengard. Besides the Ents Attack Isengard, there's a couple big ones at the beginning. I love the entire scene where they have Corey Feldman's character translating into Spanish to Rosalita.
Yeah,
which is just insane. It's insane how much Spanish he knows too. Like, I wonder how that came up, because that whole scene is so funny. They're like, he's like, oh, by the way, guys, I can speak Spanish if you want to put that in the movie. They're like, yeah, we're gonna put that all over the movie. We're gonna put that everywhere.
By the way, Corey Feldman, I can speak Spanish.
I can speak Spanish as an 11-year-old. I'm like, what? Okay. This is, but he's like, the drugs go in there. Always separate the drugs. So she's helping them, pack their houses because they're being evicted for the golf course. And of course they hire a migrant worker.
Exactly.
To help with that, who doesn't speak any. Also, she's like more of a nanny situation. I'm like, what's she gonna lift? I'm so confused.
Oh yeah, it was very weird.
It was a little weird. I found like they were like, hey.
Also, she's a cleaner.
She's a cleaner.
So she also cleans.
She cleans, but she's there to pack. I don't know. It is weird. But she's great. Rosalie was great. The actor that played her was great. And then, but the best probably front to back what is happening scene is the escape when all the guys get together and they do their little hand signals to like get the plan down.
Wait,
which part? So they're gonna trap Brand in his little like stretchy thing. So they all get together and like go over a plan. They're like, stretch it. We're gonna tie it around him, like in front of him, like they're right in front of him. And then they do it, and then they jump on him, and they do little brother stuff. Like that's awesome. And they tie it up, and they like trap him on the chair, and then they go take off to go chase the treasure. And that's awesome. Cyndi Lauper song. Is it I Don't Care or I Don't Mind or something?
Yeah.
I have it written here. Her song's great. But the song she wrote is playing and her music video is on. He's watching it and he's tied up and they're all like riding their bikes to go start. But then when Brand gets out, goes outside, realizes that his bike tires are flat and then just takes Data's little sister's bike. She's just going ding, ding, like in the driveway grinding circles. He's like, I'm so sorry. Just picks her up and puts her down. She's like, my bike, and just takes her little girl bike to go chase him. Oh my God. It was so funny. And it was hilarious again. And then when Troy holds him next to the car and then drives 50 when he's on a little girl's bike. And then he just flies off a cliff and then just
commits a little bit of like murder almost.
Almost like murders a guy, doesn't check on him.
Yeah.
And then
attempted murder.
The girl who's in the car later is like, he's like, what are you doing here? She's like, I was out driving with Troy. And he's like, he should be like, I know that. You guys almost killed me 10 minutes ago.
Do you remember that?
I know where you were. I was there.
I flew off a cliff.
But when the wheel starts smoking and then the training wheels come off, gets me every time. I'm like,
every time.
That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Simple.
It's such a ridiculous thing. So those were my favorites. Obviously, there's like 1,000. There's one with Sloth too, but we'll get to Sloth in a minute.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I can tell that this was just like a nostalgia, just like hit for you. This is really good.
The translating subject.
I'm not hating on you. It was great. No, that was good.
But yeah,
I was also like, she just going along with this kid and tells her like swap out the drugs or like separate the drugs. I was like, okay. It's a movie. Doesn't matter. Our next category here. Favorite characters. I think I've already said it before. My favorite character, Data. I loved him. I thought he was fantastic. Everything about him. And then I'm trying to think. I think I kind of like Steph. I don't know.
Steph's fucking cool. I like Steph a lot.
I thought she was like, I was like, you know what? I think I'd be more into Steph than Andy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Andy looks like seems like her dream is to see how many Instagram followers she can get, and Steph seems like she's gonna do boss girl shit or just like not take shit from nobody.
Exactly. So I was into Steph. So I like Steph and Data. Yeah, those are my favorite characters. What about you?
In order, Data is first, followed very closely.
In order,
followed very closely by Chunk. Dude, Chunk is awesome.
Oh, Chunk was annoying, dude. In the beginning,
yeah, that's the
Chunk was annoying.
When he's like, be my friend, but dude, later, come on, dude. When he gets caught,
he had bullet hole the size of matzo balls.
When he gets, every time he freaks out, he goes, like he goes quiet. When he freaks out, it's so funny, dude. Okay, hold on, real quick. And then 3 is Mike, because I think Sean Astin did an incredible job playing that character, and I think he showed off like how good of an actor he was, because he's like supposed to be this hypochondriac nerd kid, and he did it to him. Yeah. The way he told stories and stuff, like he was lost in his own imagination. I was like, dude, this is really good. This is really good. He's super good at. Maybe that's just kind of who he was. And then Mouth is 4, just because he's comic relief, but he's Corey Feldman, so I mean, he's quippy and he's fast. And then Brand sucks and Andy sucks. Though I do love Josh Brolin. I'm like, enough meat sticks. This is the 80. We get it. But
yeah, he's working out.
The best Chunk moment
and shorts.
The best Chunk moment in the entire movie when they open when he's obsessed with the ice cream. Okay. He smells ice cream, which is they fat kidded this guy way too much. But they open the freezer and he's like going off about the ice cream, and there's a dead body like propped up in the corner. He doesn't see it, and then they see it and it slowly turns around. But when it falls and all of them are standing there and it just falls and like literally like just gets like just touches all of them. They're all like, and it's literally like just slowly just falling on all of them. And then its face goes to Chunk's face. And he goes, it's a stiff. I'm like, this is so funny. They're just like, oh God, there's a dead body. And they all just let it fall on them. And then no one reacts. They're just yelling, but no one pushes it. Which is so 80s. And it's a stiff. That's so
it is like,
funny.
That's a good way to characterize a lot of these 80s movies, is that they just allow things to happen to them that just don't need to happen.
They don't react like a human would. They're just like, oh God, this is so bad. But they don't try to get out of the situation at all.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's good.
They do the bare minimum.
But yeah, Data's best.
Wow.
Data's best, 100%.
I think Data's my favorite character. Is that all of them? Did you name them all in order? Are you good?
And all the Fratellis. I mean, Sloth, he's up there with Chunk. I guess they're a pair. They kind of are a pair. We'll get into that in a minute. But like, yeah, Sloth is.
Sloth. Okay.
Every time we saw Sloth and he was like, oh! I was just like. Every time he just yelled for no reason. I just was like, please. Kate would look at me and she's like, it's you. Like, oh.
It's you.
That's what we're going to be next year for Halloween. She's going to be Chunk. She's going to be Chunk and I'm going to be Sloth.
Oh my gosh, yes. That'll be perfect. All right. Our next category. This is PG-13 award. Does it deserve the rating it was given? It would have been better with a different rating. I think it's appropriate, right? What is this rated? It's PG.
I think it's PG-13.
13? PG-13? Yeah, it's perfect. Perfectly rated.
I don't know for sure. If it's PG,
no,
we're playing fast and loose. Because
if it's fast, there's a lot of shits.
There's a guy.
PG.
There's a guy fake being hung at the beginning. You know what I mean?
That's true. That was very jarring.
Let's do. It is rated. Are we not gonna write it anywhere? Where? Oh, it's PG.
PG.
It literally is PG.
It is PG. Whoa. Yeah.
Holy
no, this should
hell,
be PG-13. Never mind.
Maybe should have been, considering the first words that Chunk said was shit.
Yeah.
It was literally
first word he says is
he literally spills his milkshake all over the window and goes shit. Like that's the first thing you hear him say. It's PG. Yes. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
right,
no, I don't think it deserves its rating. It needs to be PG-13.
It probably
at least.
should be. It would be now.
Not
100%.
at least, but yeah. Okay. Good. We both agree on that. Next category: the Vince Vaughn Award for Best Quotes. Oh boy. I mean, there's so many. You know, there's so many. I'm going to go with my favorite quote because it's the worst quote in the entire movie, in my opinion. It's after the kids go to that, like, you know, that summer diner restaurant.
Yeah.
And they're in there. And the people, like the Fratellis, accept them in for some reason, which is odd. And they go through this whole thing and they get water. It looks like brandy. Anyway, they get kicked out. They get these kids out of here. And there's this big, long zoom take on the mom after she closes the door and whips around and looks at the camera. Not looks at the camera, looks like past the camera. Takes this big sigh. And she's like, kids suck. And I'm like, that's the best you could do?
Yeah, this whole build up.
Line?
And she'd have been like, ugh, and then moved on. And you're like,
yeah.
Really?
Kids suck. Like, okay.
You're right. You're right.
It was so out of pocket and like just felt like lazy writing in some ways, but that's why I thought it was good in some ways. So that was my favorite quote.
I loved it. I loved it. There's a couple. That one's good. That one's dumb, but good.
Dumb.
So at the beginning when Chunk knocks over, because they always knock shit over. Chunk knocks shit over all the time. He knocks over the statue, the Greek statue or the Roman statue, Greek statue they have, and
Statue of David.
A statue of David, and the penis breaks off, and then
Yeah.
Mikey goes, "Oh no, that's my mom's favorite piece." Like he goes, and then Mouth goes, "Of course it is, or you wouldn't be here." Like come on, man, PG. That's great. It was great.
That one's for the parents.
But the way, like, dude, they were so quick. They always talked over each other. Like the way they delivered their lines the whole movie. I know it's very 80s too, but like,
I need like
Good.
subtitles.
You do need subtitles because a lot of it's like, I'm pretty sure there's like one boom mic too for everybody. So there's a lot of that. Like no one had like their own mics on. Like it's 1985. So
exactly.
So that's how they had to do audio. Like it was just a boom following everybody around. So I love all the quips because Feldman is so good at that too. So he's always and Data too. Data's like grumbling all the time, which is awesome. There was that, and then when Sly goes, "Baby Ruth," he goes, Ruth, baby. Like weird inflection. Love that shit. But when he comes flying in and goes, "Hey, you go," like, dude, hey, you guys. That's exactly what he would say.
Oh my gosh. So I didn't know that this is where that quote came from.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was from the Goonies. Now, having watched it, there is zero context or reason for Sloth to say, "Hey, you guys."
None.
There is no reason for him to say that.
None. Zero.
We think he has a vocabulary of like maybe 100 words, and then he says, "Hey, you guys." I was like, it doesn't even fit. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. There's a lot of that.
A lot of that. You're right. I just was hoping for more from one of the greatest quotes, apparently.
I think that's
ever.
it. It's just a big dude in a super, just flying in, like just to save the day. Like that's just, and we're supposed to be like, woo! We don't know why you said that, but it doesn't matter. It's great. What about music? What are you feeling about music?
Music, love music. All right, music. I think. Well, you said it. After Brand chases them in the little girl's
Cyndi Lauper.
bike,
It's called "It's Good Enough."
It's good enough. That was a great song.
Cyndi Lauper.
I love that song.
Good enough. It is a great song. I think it's just perfect for that time. It was like a montage. They're riding their bikes. Like, she was a mega star at that time too. So that was a big get. So yeah, that song is like what I associate. Girls just want to have. That's what I always associate. But like it's because she wrote the song it's like a similar song. So it's not Girls Want to Have Fun, but it's from the person who did that, and she wrote the song for the movie. So yes, it's awesome.
Similar feel.
I love that.
So we agree.
Yeah, we agree. That is a great song. That it really drives it. Memorabilia. What did you want from the movie?
Memorabilia. I want that doubloon. That doubloon I want.
I want the doubloon too. The one with
cool.
the map doubloon where they line up the stuff.
The map doubloon.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the map doubloon. I can't think of anything else I'd really want from that movie because everything is like.
How about every single thing that Data had on his body? Like I want the whole Inspector Gadget rig. I want the backpack.
Inspector Gadget set. Yeah.
And then the skull key that they got to do
the skull key was
thing. Cool. I was like, I wouldn't mind any of those things. I can set them up, but I really want to open my jacket and have it punch someone in the face.
That
or just oil to come out of my Nike Blazers, which is just
slick shoes.
Oh gosh, so cool.
Come on, guys, they're slick shoes. Everyone knows what they are.
Pinter's apparel would be helpful, but I don't know if the clacky teeth would work that well.
Not effective in holding up a 190-pound male.
Yeah, I know.
Best little detail. What's a small detail that you think made a character or a scene, like something you liked?
Mikey using his inhaler. Mikey's inhaler was that's how he drove the "I'm a hypochondriac," and then everything when he got did all the speeches. This is our time. Up there's their time, and down here is our time. That whole thing under the well.
Yeah,
like that's him. Like that's supposed to not. You're supposed to think that's not in him, and now he's like, we're having an adventure. I'm taking control of our destiny. Come on, guys. And I'm just like, dude, this kid's going to be in a sports movie sometime, probably where he is a walk-on to Notre Dame. That's all I'm
saying. Sure enough. Okay. Mine is the inverse. So the best little details that I found were all the inconsistencies.
Yes.
What are they called? All of the freaking continuity errors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, and it starts in the first scene. I mean, I didn't catch any before this point. But when Chunk presses up his freaking smoothie and pizza up against the window, it's very different.
Why are you doing that?
It's a very different scene. Like it's smeared in one scene, another one he just has it in his hand still. I'm like, did he unsmear it?
Yeah, there's a bunch of that in here.
There's so many inconsistencies for scenes where they just and the biggest one I felt like that was very obvious. I don't know how they didn't catch is when Chunk. It's always Chunk. He jumps in front of the car, tells him, I have to go to the sheriff, whatever. And then the Fratelli guy starts singing.
Yeah.
in the mirror, his mouth isn't moving. He's not singing.
Oh, really?
But you still hear the music.
I didn't see that. And then it goes, then it flashes to him.
Obvious. Yes.
By the way, did you catch the additional significance of that scene?
No.
Dude, so this is so they want him to be really villainous feeling.
Okay.
Right? They want these guys to be scary. This scared me and I didn't know why. He starts saying like, so Chunk, he's Jewish. He starts like almost like praying in Hebrew.
Oh yeah.
And then he starts singing in Italian. World War II.
Okay. All right.
So like he's like,
okay.
Oh shit.
All right.
So that's what he did. So like it was just a little bit of like,
I see what you're saying. Yes.
You're not supposed to make that direct connection, but it feels very like ominous, very villainous.
Yes.
Like singing an opera subliminal. Is like very like, whoa, shit, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble.
Yeah.
And it hit me hard then, and I didn't really know. And now like watching it again, it like, oh, that you could go there. You could go there.
Whoa,
that's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, it scared they were scary, man. The Fratellis were scary. Scared me when I was.
That's
a kid.
an interesting detail.
Yeah,
I like that.
But like, why else would you? Why? That's like good writing.
The main brothers. Yeah, his whole demeanor and face was actually kind of terrifying, to be honest.
By the way, do you notice the other guy is also in like a ton of shit?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, he's in the Matrix and
he's in Memento.
Other things.
Like he's
Memento. Oh yes,
he had a bunch of huge roles after this, so it's crazy.
He did. He really took off.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. All right. Our next category, the Cream of the Crop Award. How does this stack up against similar movies made around the same time? So when I think of these kind of movies, it's always the exact same feel, emotion. Yeah. It's like they got together and every director and producer was like, we're going to film every single one of these movies in the fall. It's going to be fall for all movies all time. It's going to be wet and it's going to be gray.
Yeah.
It's going to be gross. Like, it's just going to feel,
yeah.
Like this,
that's
like Uncle Buck, freaking, all of these movies are just like gray. So, I mean, I think it stacks up pretty dang well. I feel like it feels very to period.
Mid-80s.
In a way. I was like, this can't be 90s. This doesn't feel like 90s. This feels like before then, and I didn't even realize it was 85, so that checks out. I think it stacks up perfectly.
I think it does too. I think it's right in this group, but it's not the top though. Definitely not the best because same time, Back to the Future 85, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom 84. Like I said, Data was in that too. E.T. 82, Ghostbusters 84, 86, Stand By Me, Corey Feldman's in that. Princess Bride 87, Labyrinth 86, Neverending Story 84. Like these are all amazing cult classic movies.
They are.
Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off are also 85 and 86. So like in 80s movies, it's right there. But again, if you look at half those movies, Steven Spielberg. So like you see that influence.
Steven Spielberg was like all of those. Yeah.
You see that influence.
Yeah, I could tell he didn't direct this one, but he executive
He did do a couple scenes. I heard he was there a lot. Like this was kind of his like his production company did it. So it's like he's like. But it was one of his projects he just didn't have. Like he was doing it. Like obviously there's like 9 movies there where he's got stuff going on. So he's like he didn't have time to do it, but he did aid and help and fund some of it. So which you see everywhere. I mean, it's got so much Indiana Jones, crazy.
Perfect.
We have a new category which I wanted to pop in real quick. Peak of the Mountain. So you go through just anyone, like you could use a director, just a couple people, and talk about whether or not is this the peak of their career or is this just the start or the end or whatever. So
let's just skip right to Chunk. We want to talk about
Chunk. Yes, Chunk. It's the peak. I don't even know if he was in anything else, but he is now a talent lawyer in LA. And when our next person I'm going to talk about real quick, Jonathan Key as Data, signed his contract for Everything Everywhere All at Once, where he won Best Supporting Actor last year as an adult.
Amazing.
That Chunk wrote his contract with the directors.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's crazy. Really cool. And they were like, I can't believe that Chunk is writing the director for Data to be in our movie. This is insane.
That's so cool.
So that's what he's doing now. So yeah, it's probably top for him. But Brolin and Sean Astin, very beginning of their careers, we have Thanos, we got Old Boy, we got freaking old No Country for Old Men. Like, come on. And Sean Astin's like, he's Sam. He's Rudy. He's even in Stranger Things. He's become a hero in that. So it's like he's he's ever been in. He's incredible. We love Sean Astin. I would give him a big hug if he were here. But
unfortunately, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, sorry. That's all. I was just trailing.
I was going to say, No, it's fine. Kerry Green, I'm just going to say, kind of peaked.
Kerry Green, a little
like
bit.
Big peak a little bit. Not big peak, little peak. But
little peak.
Yeah.
But
hasn't really been anything notable that I've seen. So.
And where's Troy been? Yeah, shut up, Troy.
Yeah, Troy frickin' sucks.
How'd your career go? Yeah, idiot.
Whatever. That frickin' well scene's so stupid.
So stupid.
All right. Well, we had a quick one today.
We did have a quick one. We were a little time crunch, but before we go, really quickly, how did you like it? Give me your overall rating.
God, my overall rating for the Goonies, watching it for the very first time, is got to be a solid 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. I'll take it first time. It is obviously a 9.5 for me, but 6.5 I'll take it, dude. That means that's like a would watch again, probably.
Exactly.
And I hope you enjoyed watching it for the first time.
I did enjoy it. It was fun. Thanks for bringing it up.
What a great movie. The Goonies is awesome. I'm gonna give one last anecdote, then we can wrap it to finish it up. First reactions to pretty much everything, all the scenes and everything, especially where the ship was, to the ship. The first reactions to that are real. Gosh. They did not see it before they filmed it.
Oh, that's cool.
And also,
that's all right. That's legit.
Also, Chunk can't cry on command. He cannot cry on command. So in order to get him to cry during the Fratelli scene when he's confessing to everything, they actually told him that they're going to write him out of the movie if he doesn't cry. And those are real. He's actually afraid of losing his job. They're so mean to him. And also, he hates the truffle shovel. And do not ask him if you ever meet him to do it because he hates it. So I think they were just mean to him, mean as shit. But he crushed it. I loved him.
Holy anecdotes. Okay. Well, welcome to the speed run of our nostalgia tour here. Fantastic. Trevor, thank you for the insight. Thank you for the suggestion of Goonies. Fantastic. And PM is still here, but appreciate your input as well.
No problem.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
You've been listening to the May Contain Action podcast. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. Give us 5 stars where you can and leave a review. Let us know what you think. And if you have nothing to say, just leave your favorite emoji. That's right. I'm taking that from Harris Eller. Thank you for listening. We'll be back soon with the next episode and more nostalgia coming your way next time. Bye-bye, everybody.